While I was watching this film, there was something that was constantly playing in my head. If you're Nigerian, I'm sure you know it. Water and Gary, make up of a wedding day for ugly boys and girls, and I'm not invited. For some reason, that shit just kept playing in my head while I was watching this film, and I just had to share it. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. In this video, I want to talk about Tiwa Savage's movie, Water and Gary. You know, I don't even necessarily know what this film is about. But it follows a lady who goes back to her childhood home after 10 years and she reconnects with some people from her past. This film, I heard a lot about it before even watching it, and the things I heard about it were not great. And I tried to go into this film with an open mind because I didn't want people's opinions of it to influence my own enjoyment of the film. But when I started this film, the first thing that upset me in this film was the narration. I mean, it's fine, it's okay when a filmmaker or a storyteller wants to use narration to tell their story. I understand, it's fine. But when the narration is done in a way that is not appealing to the audience, it's something that just immediately turns me off. I mean, use narration, but believe that I am smart enough to understand what is going on without you having to explain everything to me. There are so many times, maybe not so many times, but a lot of times when she was using the narration, it was very pointless because you are narrating what I am saying. Why are you narrating what I am saying? If you are going to use narration, use it in a way that is not very obvious. Like use like figures of speech. Don't say exactly what is happening. She was saying exactly what was happening. So I'm like, yes, I can see now. I can see what is happening. Why are you telling me? I'm smart enough to understand what is happening now. And she was just like, she was condescending on me narrating. And that's one thing I don't like in films. I like when the filmmaker can trust that I get sense. I have the knowledge to understand what is happening. And she was just narrating. And that was the first thing that threw me off. And as the story progressed, I noticed that the writing, the storytelling was very, very subpar and it was just generic. I'm sure we've seen movies about people that go back to their hometown after a long time, and you know the kind of things that comes with it, and it just feels like that kind of story, but they had some different things to it. But it was still very generic, and it was still full of cliches. A lot of things that you'd have seen coming that they just used in this film. And the writing of it was just very lazy. The way they wrote some scenes and the way some things happened, I was just like, come on now, you can do better than this. Even me, even though I'm not a writer, I know I can do better than how some of those scenes were written. So it was just something that did not work very well with me. And while I was watching this film, it felt like a chore. Like someone was forcing me to do it. No, I know I brought it upon myself because I wanted to watch it to talk about it. But while I was watching, it was just like, can this movie just be over already? That was how it felt with me, and it was just another problem that I had with this film. I keep talking about the problems I had with this film, but I have to be honest. There was one thing that worked very well with this film, and that was the soundtrack. The soundtrack was very good. Like there are so many songs that were played in this film that worked very well, and there was one particular song that they were playing over and over again. And after the film ended, that song was still in my head, and I was still like singing the melodies, just something that I liked about this film. The soundtrack, it's worked brilliantly. And the fact that the soundtrack was good just makes me think the film was made to promote the album. And it doesn't necessarily work like that. Like that is not how it should work. You should have a film that is already a perfect film that stands very well on its own and use some soundtrack to back it up. But it felt like the soundtrack worked and the film was just like an extended music video for all the soundtrack. And it was just something that no, 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 it did not work with me. And that was the opinion I got from the film and the soundtrack. And one last thing, this film felt longer than necessary because there are some scenes that were pointless, honestly, that did not have meaning for it being there. Yes, some of the scenes they had payoff, some of the scenes you see them and they had payoff, but others they were not payoff. It's just like they're just adding the scenes to just make this music video run much longer than necessary. And that's how it just felt me. It's about 1 hour and some minutes, but still, it felt like you could cut some scenes from this film and you still get the below par film that was presented. So yeah, that's just what I thought about this film. So have you guys seen Water and Gary? What do you think about it? Comment below and let me know. And if this is your first time on my channel, my G, please subscribe to my channel for more contents like this. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video. Cheers.